Welcome, my name is Sven Davison, this is Author, and today I have a continuation of Arianne Thompson, and she's going to be talking today about teaching and jobs related to writing. Here we go.
You teach at SMU, or is that also something else you're doing?
Yeah, I really enjoy that. I think that, well, just like we were saying just previously, so you have these different stats, right? We don't all have the same charisma. We don't all have the same productivity or writer skill. But I am a really sociable person. I genuinely enjoy that, and I really like sitting down and playing book Barbies with other people, saying, okay, so right now your guys are doing like this, but maybe they could do like this after we get to about the middle of the book. And people seem to like that. So I've gotten a lot of mileage out of doing it. It's actually what's taken most of my time at this point. And I think the more we do what we love, things that we love, and then figure out later how to make money from it, then the money does usually come around if we're thoughtful about it. You were telling me that just like with this series, right? That you enjoy talking to people and would like to have conversations and learn things from other writers, and so that makes this a good choice, not just for promoting yourself, but also for just your regular life. And if there's a way to hitch those wagons together and get double bang for your buck and get a second, a marketing or publicity boost out of something you would have enjoyed doing anyway, then you're winning the game. You are totally winning the game.
How did you really start teaching people? Because I sat there, while you were talking about Stephen King and writing sentences and so forth, but I'm just kind of curious about how that started for you, and is that an angle that you're really loving? And anyway, I will shut up now.
Oh yeah, no, that's a good question. I got an associate's in art, like a 2-year degree, and then I went to a different school and got a bachelor's in history, and then I went to a different school and I got a master's degree in English. And by that time,
so you like school?
I was good at it. It had a structure, man, and unlike all this nebulous stuff we're talking about right here, there is a syllabus that says you have only to follow all of these instructions faithfully and to the letter, and all will be well. We don't get that in the real world. So by the time I got out, I was done with school. I wanted a dumb job. I wanted a job that I wanted to be a brainless secretary. And I couldn't get one of those. So I had to go teach. It was the only job I could get for a little while. They only want you. You got a master's in English. What are you going to do? Dig ditches? No. They won't let you. I tried. So I got my first job at the same community college where I graduated with that 2-year degree, teaching the fundamentals of English to adults writing below the 8th grade level. And that was an eye-opener, because these were the people who had brain damage. These were people who were fresh out of prison. These were the people who had homeschooling gone bad or who were not fluent in English. All manner of things. But they were all in there for a reason. They were trying to get something done. And there was something that made them want to get a degree, or at least enroll in this class and do something. And everybody in there, our goal for the entire semester was to finish the class being able to write a really good paragraph. And there was none of this whining that you get with freshman comp. There was none of this, why do we have to read Beowulf? No, we are there for a mission that everyone understands and agrees on. And whatever the difficulties in carrying out that mission, there was motivation, there was enthusiasm. And I realized then that if you can teach something that somebody needs to know to somebody who knows why they need it, you are going to win the game. And that's what writers are. There is something deeply wrong with us. None of us are healthy, well-adjusted people, or we wouldn't be doing this. But since we are, we care so much about it that we're going to give up vacation time to go to a conference. We're going to give up, our TV time to go write the next chapter. And being around writers is massively energizing to me. So, I carried on with that same philosophy well before I got the idea of teaching writing to writers. I was a teacher for a private company that did SAT and ACT test prep for high schoolers. And those were classes I was teaching from 6 to 9 p.m. on a Tuesday night at the local high school to kids who were just monstrously tired, who had been at school 12 hours already before they ever walked in my door, most of whom really did want to get somewhere. They wanted to go to a good school. They did care about what they were doing. And that's where I really refined this idea of, can you take a difficult concept and deliver it in a way that is entertaining and meaningful? Can you use humor and swear words and ridiculous metaphors to help convey something so that it sticks in someone's mind? Can you help somebody stay awake, or to focus, or to relieve that frustration through your delivery? And that's what I've really concentrated on since then. Kids need it a lot, but I think adults need it too. And I don't see a lot of that treatment in most writing guru classes. That let's make this can still be substantial, but it doesn't have to be boring, and it doesn't have to be hard, and we don't have to grind your face into the dirt. If I'm really good, I will be able to ask you the questions that lead you to the answers, and you will feel so much more accomplished for having gotten there as a result.
I got you.
Yeah.
So, given all your ridiculous metaphors, have you ever thought about stand-up comedy, or?
Yeah, but dude, those audiences are mean. They'll heckle you. Like, there was one guy, it was a fella, I don't know his name, but he's a fairly well-known musician who turned to writing. And somebody said, so has it been difficult for you to transition? Are you having a hard time? And he's like, no. I mean, he says, these critics, they give me a 1-star review or whatever. Those ones, they would throw a beer bottle at my head. This is easy. I got this. So, I like to be entertaining, but I really want to reserve that for the people who are, again, they're not just looking for a good time or something to do with their Saturday night. We're trying to get somewhere. And that is something, there is a lot of energy to tap in that, in those vulnerable psyches.
Thank you very much for your time. Thanks for coming down.
Thank you for having me, Sven. I really like what you're doing. I think this is a great idea, whether you get 700 followers or 7 million, and I hope that it is fruitful for you, because I certainly have enjoyed it. This is a story that takes place in a secondary world fantasy land where magic is based on cultural continuity. So the more you eat your way your ancestors ate and live on their land and speak their language and worship in their traditions, the more potent your group's magical mojo is. And that changes the entire history of colonialism, because the settlers coming in still have guns, germs, and steel, but they're not living on their old lands. They're not living the old ways. And that means the indigenous people, who are still sitting on, thousands of years of continuity, actually have a lot of power to fight back. It's a cowboys and Indians story, except the cowboys accidentally shot an Indian, and if the dead boy's family don't come after him, the fishmen will. This is the first book, One Night in Sixes, could have been called The Increasingly Poor Decisions of Two Idiot Cowboys.
Please subscribe so my dad can make more videos like this. Thank you.